What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day. Look, it seems like you can't open up the internet these days without seeing this stupid moron Dylan Mulvaney shilling some product that you used to like. Whether it was Bud Light, which we'll cover a little bit later today, Nike, all these people. There's a very clear reason for this. This video is part of the reason for it. So many people talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk about it. It's getting millions of dollars in additional free marketing. Except now it's starting. There's always a fine line that you play with that. And now it's starting to turn the other way. Bud Light is, they caught their free ride early, but they didn't expect it to continue to grow into what we'll talk about later today. Nike not only enraged the same kind of group of centrist right-wing people, but now feminists themselves are outraged, and they're taking it from all sides. By the way, Nike, nobody seems to care about their sweatshops, but that's neither here nor there. Nike angers feminists after choosing controversial trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney as a new face for women's sports bras, days after Bud Light was slammed for putting her on a can. Now, of course, Bud Light put this individual on a can of Bud Light. They have put, I believe, 0 biological influential women on Bud Light cans, no Mother Teresa cans, no Rosa Parks cans, but they've got Dylan Mulvaney on a can. Again, just like women's sports, this is a woman's issue because men can't help you. We can make our videos, right? By the way, I'm up to 17% female viewers. Shout out, ladies. Okay. There was a time last year where it was like 2%. So this is a woman's issue. I can make this video. And look, fellas, if you're watching this video, here's what I can ask. Leave a like on it. Click that share button or post it to social media and let women know that they have to be the ones that speak up about this. Nike has sparked fury about starting a partnership with Dylan Mulvaney, who posed for a series of pictures in leggings. Mulvaney, 26, posted videos and photos on her Instagram. Jeez, come on, Daily Mail. Furious feminists and some men slammed the decision by Nike to give the coveted sponsorship for a prominent women's line to a biological male. It's not the first time Nike has used a biological male in their marketing, launching their Play New campaign in 2021 with Mara Gomez, who is the first trans woman to play in Argentina's professional football league. Mulvaney, who has not yet had any kind of reassignment surgery, which is, if you want me to believe you're committed to the cause, Dylan, you better get that bottom surgery. You being trans is your brand, okay? There's a lot of trans people out there who have not had the surgery for a variety of reasons, okay? Maybe they can't afford it. I assume it's very expensive. Maybe they don't want to do it or can't do it. And I don't really have any problem with them not doing it. But when you're Dylan Mulvaney and your entire brand is being a woman, day 365 of being a woman, unless you commit to it, I'm going to continue to assume you are a grifter, an excellent grifter, but a grifter. In their latest Nike post, Mulvaney appeared in a pair of leggings and other stuff, striking yoga poses in a sunny backyard. A video showed Dylan dancing around the yard in bare feet, doing mock workouts while an upbeat song played over the performance. Many took to social media to express their outrage that Mulvaney, a biological man, had been given the sponsorship and not a biological woman. Listen, again, women, this is a problem that only you can fix. I assume, now, I know I'm perhaps some may say I need a man's ear, but I don't purchase these type of goods, okay? What I assume though is because I do buy clothes, I've never spent a lot of money on clothes. I buy clothes that are like Amazon Basics or whatever, because a shirt is a shirt, all right? I assume that leggings by Nike are no better than 25 other alternatives, okay? So this is a very simple problem to fix. See, the reason that these kind of boycotts fail is, and typically it's because the right is very poor at boycotts. They are very good at getting outraged and posting, throwing products in the garbage, but they lose attention too quickly and they move on to something else. We've seen this with Anheuser-Busch, for example. Their stock didn't even take a hit, right? Their investors know that conservatives are just going to move on. But that's not what's happening. We'll talk about that later. But same thing with Nike, right? Remember when Nike gave Kaepernick all that money and Nike had all these little poor, 8-year-olds making their tennis shoes? But when people went to the store, they still bought Nikes. Look, there's a million other options for shoes that aren't Nikes, okay? The market has never been broader. How about somebody local? Many took to social media to express their outrage that Mulvaney had been given the sponsorship and not a biological woman. Quote, I really used to enjoy Nike as a brand, but I will never wear another shoe from them after they featured Dylan Mulvaney as their new ambassador for women's clothing, one user wrote. When will these brands understand that women don't want men dressing up as them to advertise their products? Well, you have to make the decision. I'm not saying, by the way, it's really dumb to like be throwing perfectly good clothes out, or if you had Bud Light in your fridge, like making a big stink about dumping it out. That's just an L, okay? I'm not saying people have to throw out all their Nike stuff and buy new stuff. I mean, if you're financially in a position, which by the way, in this economy is not that many people, if you're fortunate enough to say, I'm just going to go replace all my Nike stuff with something else, that's cool. Even when Carhartt did their insanity last year, forcing employees to get the poke, I had just bought like 7 new Carhartt hoodies. I'm not throwing those out. That's stupid. They're like $70 each. But when I'm ready to buy something else, then I'll buy a different brand. That's all I think people really have to do. This whole putting a show of like throwing your stuff out, unless you're wealthy or you're in a very strong financial position and you can go replace it, that's cool. And I think that does make a statement, but I don't think people should feel like they have to get rid of everything. Usually when I wear my Carhartt stuff out, I'll put a piece of duct tape over their logo. And people actually, like, they know. Like, they'll see it and they're like, they know. Quote, Dylan Mulvaney is making the biggest mockery of women, and I'm officially outraged because of his collaboration, another wrote. You chose him over all the hardworking women who work out regularly in your activewear. What a dang shame. Absolutely disgusting. Another quote, Nike women have hired Dylan Mulvaney to be the new face of their women's bra and sports bra range, wrote a third. A brand would likely pay someone like Dylan, who has 1.7 million followers and huge media attention, between $50,000 and $100,000 for this. Why doesn't Nike pay a real woman to promote a product that is solely for women? Others said it looked like Mulvaney was mocking women by putting on a minstrel show of femininity in the video, an accusation which has been thrown at Dylan over Dylan's past content. Well, that's what Dylan is doing, woman face. Everyone knows that. Not everyone knows that. And again, this is an exclusively woman issue. There are many brands. Look, I'm not saying, I'm sure all the stuff that Amazon sells probably made in China or whatever, okay? And Amazon's not exactly a great company to be giving your money to, but if you take the time, there are plenty of other clothing options. Plenty. And, most of what you get with buying brand name clothes is a little swoosh on it. I remember, if you're a millennial, you probably remember how all these stupid kids were spending all this money on Abercrombie and Fitch clothes. And I remember my girlfriend at the time, all she wore was Abercrombie and Fitch. And by the time we were in our 20s and paying for our own clothes, you know, she's finding like, oh, it's actually the worst quality clothes I've ever owned. Like they get holes in them, they're super thin, they're garbage. So like, people just have to make this move. The Nike sponsorship comes days after Dylan stirred up controversy by becoming a spokesperson for Bud Light. Dylan has angered many feminists by charting the year of girlhood since transitioning from male to female. Dylan has not transitioned. Dylan just wears women's clothes and says Dylan is a woman. Go get the surgery. Earlier this year, Mulvaney underwent grueling facial feminization surgery, which sees facial bones sliced off and sanded down to give a softer, more womanly appearance. Dylan Mulvaney still, in my opinion, looks very much like a man. And also, I believe Dylan just uploaded a whole video whining that no one will date them. You know what my thought is about that? It's because people know Dylan's not, you know, a fraud. That's why people aren't interested. The type of people that would date Dylan know that Dylan's a fraud. The only person that Dylan can ever hope to date is another grifter. You know what I mean? Like the idea, like obviously the Bud Light thing wasn't Mulvaney's first sponsorship for his eyebrows. Dylan's appearance on Ulta Beauty in October led to controversy and calls to boycott the cosmetics firms. But again, women have to follow through. I believe there are a zillion makeup options that you don't have to go to Ulta for. Critics call Dylan misogynistic for appropriating womanhood. Likewise, a post about Tampax left viewers shocked and confused. Two replied, "Is this a joke?" Dylan is frequently bashed, referring to the thing as a Barbie pouch. By the way, I'm doing the best I can to stay within terms of service here and not use this woke bull language. Okay. Dylan's gained massive following on TikTok, documenting his transition to female, originally identifying as non-binary by telling followers in March that Dylan was actually a girl. I think Dylan is just hyped on the social media stuff, the fame that people keep giving them. And until people actually make the move and stick to it, look, Bud Light couldn't be easier to boycott, okay? Same with Nike. Couldn't be easier to find a different product, all right? Get out there, ladies. Take back your space. Keep telling them how unhappy you are by voting with your wallet. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it, and we'll talk to you again real soon.